Today we have Margaret Downey of AAI, Atheist Alliance International. We're going to find out a little bit more about her and her organization. Welcome, Margaret.
Thank you for having me, Bruce.
Tell me a little bit about AAI. What is AAI about?
AAI is an umbrella organization where we embrace affiliates. Our affiliates number about 60, and what we do is we try to help groups grow and organize, and we suggest things to them for getting more members to join. We try to help them with things like organizing their bylaws and helping them become a very strong networking group for other atheists. We want people to find us, and so we want to help these groups grow. We want to embrace small groups and make them big.
Well, tell me a little bit about the groups that you do have. I know Atheist United, which is very strong in the Orange County, LA area, is one of them. There are other groups as well, right?
Oh, yes, yes. In fact, my campaign this year was to find smaller groups and, like I said, embrace them and help them grow and nurture them. And what we're trying to do is take atheist meetup groups that are very small and very social and say, why don't you organize into a 501c3? We can help you, we can guide you, we can suggest bylaws, we can suggest filings. I want to see these smaller atheist groups have the advantage of mentoring from larger groups. And I didn't have that advantage when I started my group. So I think it's very important to give the knowledge that we have to smaller growing groups.
Now this is worldwide, correct? You have groups all around the world.
Yeah, and we try to connect, we try to communicate with people from all over the world. We have, the internet has made the world so small, and people are communicating and exchanging ideas, and that's what we want. We want to see these groups mentoring small groups. We want to see people suggesting activities. We want people to share, express how to relate positive atheism in society. And what that means is we need people to connect. We need people to say, hey, we put this event on. It was a success or it was a failure. Here's what we did wrong. Here's what you can do right. And it's all a matter of communication, communication, communication.
Let's get back to the U.S. How many groups are there in the U.S. that are atheists?
Well, we like to not just limit it to atheist groups. There are some humanist groups involved in the Atheist Alliance International. There's some free thought groups involved in the Atheist Alliance International. They're not afraid to affiliate with an atheist umbrella group. That's wonderful news. But we wouldn't turn someone away who didn't have the word atheist in the title of their group. And there's a good 50-some groups involved right now with us. And what we like to call it is an affiliate or an associate group, an associate member. They don't pay any dues, but they get a lot of benefits. The hookup, and sometimes we have press releases that they can duplicate on a local level. There are various groups of various sizes. There could be as small as 5 people meeting once a month to 900 people meeting every month. The span is just enormous, and we don't say you have to be a certain size in order to join or affiliate with us.
So you're saying some groups don't have atheist in their title then?
Right, right. In fact, the group that I was once the president of is the Free Thought Society of Greater Philadelphia. And people are sometimes more comfortable affiliating with a group that has a nebulous name like Free Thought or Free Thinker.
Or Backyard Skeptics.
Or Backyard Skeptics. But we wouldn't require anyone to have the word atheist in their name. The groups vary in sizes. They vary from 5 people meeting once a month to 900 people coming to an event once a year. So
and that's what's coming up in just a couple weeks. Is that correct? In Long Beach, California, 2008?
Oh, I wish we had 900 people coming, but no, we only have about 300. But still, there are 300 committed, proud, enthusiastic people who want to learn and experience wonderful speakers and get rejuvenated. Every time I go to a conference, I come away just feeling so passionate and so right about where I'm going in my life and the philosophical home that I have. It makes me so proud.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit, because a lot of people feel that atheists do not have any spiritual foundation. And of course, we don't believe in a spiritual foundation. So how do we prove ourselves to be good and honest people? It's a misnomer from the 20s and 30s that atheists were bad and evil people, and they were archaic, and
well, I think we're the most moral people on earth because we do good things, not because we fear hell or we want to go to some heaven, get the brownie points to go to heaven. No. We do good things because we know it's the right thing to do.
For the sake of doing good.
Yes, and to improve the human condition. The only way the human condition can be improved is with human endeavors. We've never seen prayer. We've never seen belief in God work. So the only way to change things, to make things better, is to do good. And at the conference, I'm exemplifying that. On Friday, we are donating blood. We are cutting our hair for the cause. All of this hair will be gone, and hopefully it'll go to a wig to be used by a chemo patient. I just received an email this morning thanking me for the hair donation drive. A teenager told me a story about how she's gone through chemo and how devastating it was to her to lose her hair, and how much better she felt when she finally was able to get the human hair wig.
Well, tell me a little bit about this conference. There are seminars happening on Saturday. There's awards happening on Friday and Saturday night. It's a 3-day conference, Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. Is that correct?
Right.
And this happens once a year throughout different cities in the U.S.
Yes. Last year it was on the East Coast. This year it's on the West Coast. And hopefully, if we get it all together, we have plans for Denver in 2009.
Oh, how about that? So everybody out there looking for an Atheist Alliance United International meeting, that would be in Denver, probably during the summertime, I take it?
No, there's mixed feelings about when to hold it. But what's so funny is here we are at sea level in 2008, and then in 2009 we're going to go to the highest peak and be in Denver.
Mile high, right?
Mile high. Okay. In fact, I'm thinking mile high atheism.
Oh, that's it. Well, it's unsinkable atheism for the Queen Mary in Long Beach. Is that correct? And how many seminars are there on Saturday?
Oh, there are so many. I've even lost track. I kept filling rooms and wonderful speakers, all the way from how to write your atheist story to fighting the Boy Scouts bigotry, media training. We have even a grief workshop where you can come and talk about how difficult it is to go through traumatic things in your life without religion. Religion is so fear-based that many people turn to religion not knowing that you can get through tough times without God or prayers. And we have a student workshop, we have a political workshop. So I am so proud of all the wonderful presenters that we got together. These people donate their time, put a lot of effort into their workshops, and do it because they want to educate. They want to be a part of that education. They want to be a part of the community. And we have a very strong community.
Well, what are the goals of AAI?
The goals? Well, we're reaching them every day, and that is to grow and help groups grow, and to relate to society that we have positive atheism.
Now, describe positive atheism. You mentioned that. Now, I know the definition of positive and negative atheism. Why do you say positive atheism is?
Because I think our actions need to concentrate on doing good works, making sure that we tear down all the negative stereotyping of atheists. It's time that we showed our face and not stay silent when we're out there cleaning up highways and standing next to church people at soup kitchens. Wear your atheist t-shirt. You know, say we're here and we're proud.
Oh, a lot of people are afraid to do that. I'm
Exactly.
actually one of the out of the closet atheists. I'm an atheist advocate, very much like you are. Whenever I meet somebody, especially on airplanes, and I do travel a lot, probably much like you, I espouse my atheism by asking the simple question, are you very religious? And from that response, they give me a direction of where to go
Yes.
to share with them some of my thoughts about atheism. So I think that atheism is meant to be, it's a controversial subject right off the bat, because a lot of people don't accept that atheists can be good. And so I actually espouse that by letting people know, yes, I am an atheist, yes, I am a good person, we're just like everybody else, we just don't believe in a deity.
Sometimes I'll go on a flight and I won't even say that I'm an atheist, but I give them my card after a wonderful flight. You know, I'll tell you what I did recently. I was flying first class thanks to the generosity of my husband, who likes to spoil me. And I was in first class, and this soldier came on board who was injured. And I said to the stewardess, where's he seated in the plane? And she said, oh, he's in the back. And I said, well, I want him to have my seat. And she said, really? Okay. And she went back, got him, and I moved. And at the end of the flight, he waited for me outside the plane, and he said, that was the nicest thing that anyone's ever done. God bless you. And I said, I did it because I'm an atheist, and I appreciate what you've done for this country, and it wasn't God that saved you, but you're very brave and fortunate to have survived this. And I just wanted to thank you as an atheist. Gave him my card. So that was a very proud moment.
Well, if he was very religious, he might have thought twice about that, because even religious people might not do. That's a very, very kind thing to do.
Oh, well, that was just obvious that, you know, it was something that needed to be done.
That's right. Well, when people come up and say, God bless you, it is a little odd to respond in the negative, because I find it that it's difficult for, since most people believe in a deity, to respond with, I'm sorry, that won't help me. You know? It's like, for the radical Christians that I argue with in public, they say, God bless you, and I'll think for you if you pray for me. And that's a little more condescending, but it's...
Well, I think a little giggle always breaks up, you know, what you're about to say. And that's what I usually do, is when someone says, God bless you, that's so funny because I'm an atheist. And then that breaks the ice.
That's right. Well, to get a little bit heavier in this conversation, I know you have a very pleasant and lighthearted way about you, but sometimes I'll just invoke the one sin that cannot be forgiven, and that is I deny the existence of the Holy Spirit.
Right.
And when somebody keeps on, I'm talking to people now, very devout Christians that do not like my existence when I'm out in public. I go down to the Huntington Beach Pier and try to find more atheists and agnostics to join my group. That's really getting out there to expose yourself. And some people come up to me and they say, well, I'll pray for you. And I go, well, you can't pray for me. And I go, why? Because I've done the sin from your God that cannot be forgiven. So don't pray for me. And if they don't know what that is, I'll say that.
They usually don't.
Most of them don't know what the unforgivable sin is, because there's only one.
Yeah, and you know, most of these devoted Christians haven't read the Bible cover to cover.
Well, that's right. In fact, many of the interviewers that I interview that are strong atheists were Christians at one time, and the reason they are atheists now is because they read the Bible and found so many contradictions in
That's exactly what happened to me.
Really? You were a Christian before?
No, I've never been a religious person. I've always contended that when a human is born, we're all born atheist, and it is the indoctrination of your parents or society or your friends that turn you into a religious person, whether it's a Muslim or a Christian or a Hindu. It's your environment as well. And so I've always contended that every person is an atheist when they're born. But it is up to an atheist parent to teach the child to be a free thinker, not to indoctrinate the child to be an atheist.
Choose their own path. To
choose your own path. And I have always said that the best way to rear a child is to rear the child to think for themselves. And if they choose to become religious, then accept it and love the child for who the person is. My oldest daughter is baptized, born again, at age 16. And I went to the baptism because it was her choice. And I wanted to show her that I loved her and supported her choices.
I think it's a lot easier for an atheist to accept a child being indoctrinated into religion, not indoctrinated actually, but born again into religion, than the other way around, because most parents don't like the fact that their children has chosen atheism as a life stance, and many parents will actually condemn their children for this, and thinking that they're not going to see them in heaven.
Yes. In fact, I don't know if you know this, but I have a narrative collection called the Anti-Discrimination Support Network. And what I do is I collect narratives describing incidences where an atheist has been discriminated against. And I got so many narratives that I started dividing them up into categories. So I have a binder that's work, a binder that's students and teachers, a binder that's community and family, and media discrimination, and government discrimination. And in the community and family binder, you will break down in tears reading the narratives. It's the most heart-wrenching situations because, you know, families are torn apart. Grandparents are restricted from seeing grandchildren, and children never see their parents again and told that, you know, they're ostracized and disinherited, you know. In fact, at this conference, Unsinkable Atheism, I am hosting a wedding for a couple whose family said, when they disclosed that they were atheists, they were told that atheism was inappropriate, a bad life stance for future children, and they wanted nothing to do with these folks. Wow. So we've adopted them. We will become their atheist family. And that's why I'm hosting the wedding. It's going to be a beautiful wedding, and I want to show everyone that atheists have beautiful ceremonies too.
Of course.
We do not use religions or God, you know, talk or any type of platitudes. It's all real. It's about honesty and love and commitment. And I'm really proud of the way we present our life stance to our friends and family.
Well, I have to remind everybody that this is a backyard, and so we do have planes going overhead. We're right in between John Wayne and Fullerton Airport, so that's just the way it is. But I do read FFRF, publication called Free Thought. That's the Freedom from Religion Foundation.
It's called Free Thought Today.
Free Thought Today, thank you. And I did read an article about some parents that are disowning their children, but they take a more legal stance. FFRF actually goes out and sues governments for putting up nativity scenes on government property. Now, your organization is much less litigational, I guess I would say.
The Anti-Discrimination Support Network is actually an effort to continue the relationship I established with the United Nations back 15 years ago. I was involved with the Freedom of Religion and Belief Committee through the United Nations. I reported incidences of discrimination. At that time, it was based on discrimination against atheists at the hands of the Boy Scouts. But it grew from there, and my collection elevated my standing at this committee, so now they consider me the expert end discrimination against atheists in America. So hopefully I can keep having an influence there at the different conferences, and every 10 years or so there's a book that's published, Intolerances Around the World, and I'm so proud that my report about discrimination at the hands of the Boy Scouts is in that book.
Well, it so happens that I was at another local city, Yorba Linda, last night, and they were voting on the In God We Trust, and they had 20 Boy Scouts, and of course one went up and said, we support this. And my friend that was next to me is saying, well, they're a bigoted organization anyway, and the reason they can do this, by the way, the Lawyers for the Atheists lost, I understand, because it is a private organization. Is that correct?
They were not private at the time that this all started. They became private in order to have the discriminatory policy. So as a private organization, now that they've deemed themselves so, they could kick out whoever they want. They can kick out they can kick out a handicapped child. They can kick out redheads if they want to. And I think that's very dangerous for America.
Well, what about the Girl Scouts? They're still government-owned, aren't they?
The Girl Scouts are great. In 1992, they had this discussion at their national meeting, and they decided that unlike the Boy Scouts, they will never discriminate. They let a child entering the scouting program say an oath to nothing, to say an oath to anything, to themselves, to a duty to conscience.
Wow, that is very liberal.
It is wonderful. Unfortunately, the Girl Scouts are losing funding because of this, and support. The Catholic Church won't let them meet anymore in various places. They're being punished for being open. They're being punished for being loving and embracing of everyone. And they're hurting. So every time you see a Girl Scout, please buy a box of Girl Scout cookies.
Well, that's one thing about the atheist lifestyle, is that we're extremely tolerant. We're on the fringe of ideologies from America. In fact, I read an article just last month that we are, unfortunately, the most misunderstood and the most hated group in America, except for one group which finally surpassed us. Did you hear about this? Scientology.
No. Oh, no.
People don't like Scientologists more than they don't like atheists.
Wow.
So isn't that incredible?
That is. Now, I didn't read that. I learned something today. And that's good news.
Well, it is. We're rising up. We're number 2 on the most hated list, but we're mostly misunderstood.
Yes.
Most people don't understand atheists because they're involved in their particular God stance. They've been indoctrinated. All their friends believe in God. And they don't understand that somebody that does not believe in God would have good morals. The fact is that atheists, from all the atheists that I've seen, and of course I have my own group here, is that they think about life more than the average individual. They're more philosophical about life. They want to know more of the meaning of life, and so they start going on a search of discovery of themselves.
Yes.
That's mostly why atheists have come out of the closet, is because they recognize themselves as good people.
Right.
And they don't mind telling anybody they're an atheist, because if it's who you are, even if there is a God, which I, of course, admit there's a possibility that there is a God, very unlikely, but there is a possibility that if there was a God, the God made us like we are, if he knows everything and he knows where we're headed and how we're going to fulfill our lives. This is one philosophical way of fulfilling our life.
Well, sometimes when I go speak at college campuses, and by the way, I'm invited all the time to the Christian College, and I open up saying, if I offend you, it comes with the territory as we talk about these things, but some of you may think that God sent me to make your faith stronger. Because I will be hitting some hard subjects here tonight. And
I do identical to Calvary Chapel.
Oh, do you
in
really?
Orange County, yes.
Oh,
I've been invited to talk to them.
Oh, wonderful.
Well, what do you say to Christians that obviously know you're an atheist?
Well, I have a whole presentation. At,
is it on YouTube?
Oh, I should get that done.
You should get it on YouTube.
That would be fun. That would be fun. I try to pull these young minds into my presentation by showing the sex organs programs and saying how they're so badly designed. And that always gets their attention.
Oh, that definitely get everybody, especially in a Christian college. Oh, my
Right,
goodness.
right.
Well, at least they're college-based. You couldn't do that, of course, in the younger group.
Right, right.
I find it very interesting. Once people know that I'm an atheist, they usually say, do you get this? Bruce, you're the nicest atheist I've ever met.
Yeah.
Do you get that?
Oh, I even get, well, you don't look like an atheist.
Oh, like they can read your mind, maybe.
Like I should have, a tail and horns or something. I don't know.
Or treat people with no discretion.
Yeah, yeah. And it's crazy.
Well, I want to thank you very much, Margaret, for coming in for this interview.
Well,
We're going to be
you.
adding it to the Orange County Atheist program. I don't know which one. It's in the mix right now in editing, so it's going to be shown on 9 different cities in Orange County, and of course on YouTube. That's really where we're headed.
Great.
I need to find out a little bit more about getting a 501 nonprofit,
Okay.
because that's the only way YouTube can go to 30 minutes.
Oh, really? I didn't realize.
Yes, 10 minutes is the max if you're not a nonprofit. So I want to thank you again very much for coming in.
Thank you.
And I'm
Bruce.
looking forward to seeing you more at the Atheist Alliance International Convention
And
coming up.
every time I'm in California, please, let's keep in touch because I have a lot more to say.
Well, come on down.
A lot
and
of
we'll
subjects to
get
cover.
You, in fact, we might even do another interview right now since you mentioned this, several of those
Okay.
other subjects. So thank you once again.
Thank you.